Hello guys, welcome back to Writer's Tales Last Adventures, number 53, Maniac's here. So, we're in Victorian London this time in 1891, and this story deals with the supposed murder, of the murder of Francis Coles, the 11th and final victim of the Whitechapel murders done by the so-called Jack the Ripper. And it's basically like a different twist on it, actually, and but we'll get into the details. So, the story goes is that there's someone pretending to be Francis Coles who's taken her identity, supposedly. In actual fact, someone who actually looks spin image like her, takes her identity, and it's supposedly be the one that is meant to be killed, really, because she's been tailed by someone called Cutthroat, who is hunting her, who in fact is taking the guise of a retired magician, supposedly, and also just wears a top hat and everything else, and just rides around the night. He uses the night as stealth, he does, and he goes around the alleyways and everything else, just, trying to find this person, supposedly, who's not Francis Coles, but actually someone else who's just taken the identity. Apparently, this woman in particular is sort of a bit of a fraudster, really, and plans to, well, in a way, she takes the identity. She does. She has this genetic power. She does, where when she touches when someone's dead, she touches someone, really, and takes the form. Of course, in this case, Francis Coles is basically unconscious because she actually knocked her out. I think, we don't know the exact name because she hasn't really had no name really. She's just known as the woman, really. In this case, takes the form of Francis Coles while she's unconscious. So it's in actual fact, she's halfly formed, and it doesn't really work well. If you have an unconscious person, really, it halfly does it. Sometimes you can flip back actually to form. It's like being invisible, really. You become invisible for a little bit, then you come back to how you look, then visible again, so forth and so forth. And and that seems to be happening around, really, of course. And this seems to gain some attention of the police. Chief Inspector Banks, really, he's known as Inspector Banks, but he's actually sort of dealing with some roguish dilemmas as well. He's doing his own accord, really, so he's not really on the duty. He's just doing his own thing, really, at this point. The person entailed is Nurse Cutthroat, who's basically still going around. He's still searching for the woman, really. And in his way, he sort of comes across the protagonist, of course, who are basically in the Victorian garb, that sort of thing. They're just there for whatever reason, really. I think they actually, the particular reason why they found out, because they found this little signal they did, really. Again, little distress signals. This one actually came from the woman, really, because she lands down in Victorian London, and someone accidentally activates this whole tracking device, really, and obviously it's picked up by Florence, of course, really, the computer, and say we need to go here now, and that's where they end up, really, searching around, trying to find search for the woman, of course, who's maybe in dire need, of course, who's partly somebody else, but also Francis Coles as well, interestingly, and have this Caped Crusade, this top-hatted cape wearing fella, going around chasing after her, just around the streets of London, really, at night. So there we go. That's really bad. It's just it's a running around cat and mouse story, really, in Victorian London, where a bunch of like shape-changing genetic people, really. Yeah, to go on that one. So this one has a bit of an interesting thing about this one. The title suggests, what the title was actually, originally was meant to be a Virgin New Adventure. It was submitted by Mark Gatiss, who did Nightshade, and he submitted this story as one. And another story called Black Death, which is not included in this lineup, but it's included somewhere else. Obviously Maniac here was submitted, of course, and it was set in the Victorian area, but Peter Darvill Evans, the editor, didn't want to use it because it felt too similar to Birthright, really. So they didn't want to use that really. See, I felt like a similar thing really. So they scrapped that. He brought in Black Death. Nothing really came from that one. Apparently that was meant to be like some space opera that he just put together but never used. And then finally he ended up with St. Anthony's Fire, which got published in 1994. And I thought, something like that might be really interesting. I found about this in the Time and Space Visualizer fan site, or TSV, New Zealand Doctor Who fan site, just around there. And obviously, I sort of looked into it. There have been quite a few other stuff that's been floating around but never used, really. Something called Mobius Trip, which was maybe something like originally something by David A. McKinty that was never used anyway. There have been quite a few bits and pieces really. Same title I found, Root of Evil, actually from there. So some titles really come from there. Some of them just like, that story might be interesting. I'll probably use that. Or something similar with Maniac's Tier really. Nothing else to really go on really. It's just there really. Again, some stories I'm sort of interested with. Fully, there are some others that can be, that I give them some ideas around the fly, but sometimes, they cannot be quite developed in a way. If you notice with a few of them, actually. Some of them is like, I have this idea, of course, and there we go, So this is basically, it's just a cat and mouse in Victorian London, sort of heavily based by the Bad-Chapel murders, Jack the Ripper murders, really, and make a bit of twist on it. There we go. So, Maniac's Tier. Thank you guys for watching, as always. See you in the next video, and goodbye.